because I know people are going to go, why are you talking about the guys? We know the Pistons are not exactly a ratings draw, okay? And pre-show, I said we do want people to listen to the show. So should we? And we should. This is kind of like your vegetables. The season's over. This is the time to take a step and take a step back and see what comes of it, because change was promised. Change has not happened. The rumored change from The Athletic is that they will hire a president of basketball operations above Troy Weaver and Monty Williams. Cleaning out the lockers today at 10, presumably so the players don't have to address any moves they make later in the day. I do hope there are several moves, John. It's indefensible to keep Troy Weaver as a part of this organization, and I'd argue money shouldn't be an issue for a billionaire. Monty Williams shouldn't be coaching the team either. But if you need a new basketball guy to come in and make the decisions for you, so be it. But, John, there's no way Troy Weaver should be in the front office in a couple hours. Like, fine, let the guys get out of the locker room. Don't make them answer the questions about it. But 11 o'clock, noon, lunchtime, Weaver's gone, bye-bye. Got to happen, right?
So he's accountable for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are we giving him 4 years?
Yeah.
Where do those 4 years rank?
You love this stat.
I do. I mean, they are, one of them this year was the worst in franchise history with only 14 wins. 4 of his 4 seasons finish in the worst 8 years that this franchise has ever known. Ooh. And they have progressively gotten worse. And so I always wonder, and I ask the question, right, is there something that we're not seeing from year 2, from year 1 to year 2? Did they get a little bit better? Is there hope on the horizon? Then same thing year 2 to year 3. Now year 3 to year 4. And then you look at the whole thing. When he took over, are they better 4 years after that he was making decisions than they were when he took over?
When he took over, they were a 20-win team. Fast forward 4 years later, 14, the fewest in Pistons history. They featured a 28-game losing streak, the longest in NBA history. The answer is no.
And so at that point, you're looking at going, well, we're not clearly on the right course. Well, who sets the course? The GM is the one that starts that course by acquiring players, putting together and assembling a roster that you want to have some superstars, but you want to be balanced. You want to have guys that can actually shoot in a game where you've got to be able to make three-pointers. Who do we have to rely upon to be shooting three-pointers? We have a lot of guards, but none of them are known for being good or effective or consistent behind the arc.
It's a three-point shooting league, and Weaver always minimized that in the media. And if you look at his roster, more importantly, his actions minimize three-point shooting. The guys who we would consider to be the young core, and it's not much of a core when you win 14 games, but it's Cade.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy is not a plus shooter. Asar Thompson is not a plus shooter, and Jalen Duren is not a plus shooter. So what the hell is this roster in today's NBA where 3 of the 4 core guys aren't plus shooters around Cade Cunningham? That's not exactly a good that you didn't build a cohesive roster. You collected names. You never built a team. And if you're Weaver, your win percentage is worse than even Matt Millen. Since you've been here, your basketball team is a combined, and I typed it all out, went back through, made sure I double-checked it. It's every bit as bad as you think, if not worse. 74 and 244. They won 23% of their games. Matt Millen won 27% of his games as the executive of the Detroit Lions. We have a guy worse than Millen, and you have an owner who has to step up and step in and fire people. And I do think Monty's on that list too. And I know that's more expensive. I know he signed a rich contract in the offseason, but he didn't want to coach. And he told you he didn't want to coach. And he told you at the press conference he took the job in part because of the money. And then it felt like he coached the team like a guy who wanted to be fired. He would tell people, hey, I'm not going to keep playing the all-bench lineup. The very next night, the all-bench lineup's in the game. Why is Killian Hayes starting 30 minutes a night? He's not in the league anymore. Like, Monty really ran this team. I can't tell you factually he wanted to get fired. I can just tell you if a coach wanted to get fired, they would have done everything Monty Williams did this season.
And here's the things that we don't know behind the scenes. Was he told by Troy Weaver, hey, you've got to play Killian Hayes because we want to inflate his trade value, which was nothing.
Non-existent. Well, the other flip side, people wanted to see Ivy And
Right.
that was the guy losing out to those minutes.
Yeah.
Remember? And then Monty admitted, like, oh, yeah, I probably should have done this sooner. No kidding. You should have played your top 5 guard alongside Cade to see if it worked or not. We'll see. A teardown of the studs is probably what they need to do. Will they have the guts to do it? Will they financially take the hit to fire multiple people and pay multiple people and really do what this organization needs? Or is it going to be a lot of platitudes?
It needs to be the frame, right down to the frame off restoration. And you've got to find a way. And I don't think the answer is going to be bring in a president of basketball operations to oversee Troy Weaver, because it doesn't work for Troy Weaver either. Now, all of a sudden, you've neutered him, and he's got to run everything by. And then, what the basketball of operations just tells him, no, 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 no. Like, it doesn't work for Troy Weaver. It doesn't work for the Pistons to have that same voice there, especially if everything is going to be overruled when it comes down to it.
John, you've brought this up before. When you spray Febreze in a smelly bathroom.
Yes, then you just get the mix.
You just get the mix. That's what this would be. Even if you have the crispest smelling.
Yes, there's no really good way to cover a turd.
No, you're going to have to flush it. And you're going to have to air out the room. And that's what the Pistons need to do. Flush it, air out the room. If you sprinkle a little Febreze into this current situation, it's going to smell like apples and ass. Like, it's not going to fix the situation.